Open WhatsApp. That link here. WhatsApp. Last time. WhatsApp.
ఇదే లింక్
starting.
Okay, do let me know when I need to start. I'm ready now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Start చేద్దామా? ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? ఇది అవుతానా? ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? చేసి సైంటిస్ట్ సైంటిస్ట్ చేయలేదు ఆయన పీపీటీ ఆయన చదువుకుంటున్నాడు. ఈ పక్కన హోటల్ ఫుల్ స్పీడ్ పెట్టాను కదా, ఆయన పీపీటీ ఆయన
enjoying their holidays. What are these important mostly for people for enjoying? They go for in summers. Go to a near water body, you'll feel very happy, right? Playing in the water, the stage.
ఎవరు వీళ్ళు మన వాళ్ళు జస్ట్ ఓపెన్ చేశారు అంతే. జానుబాబు సార్ స్టార్ట్ చేద్దామా? చాలా సమయం ఆయన బొమ్మ చూడకుండా ఫ్యాన్ ఉన్నాయి సార్.
అన్నీ కాదు ఓకే
Okay. ఈయన ఎప్పుడో పిహెచ్డి మేము వెళ్ళేటప్పటికే లేడు. పోస్ట్ డాక్టర్లు అంతా ఉండి ఒక 10 ఏళ్ళు తిరిగి వచ్చాడు. వచ్చి మాతా వైష్ణవిదేవికి వెళ్ళాడు. అది రాశాడు అసలు అసిస్టెంట్ పోస్ట్ మాతా వైష్ణవి. ఏం సంబంధం లేదు. నా థీసిస్ లో ఆయన పేరు ఉంటుంది, నా పేపర్లో సంబంధం ఉందా లేదంటే Sir, can we start, sir?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yes, sir. This is Dr. V. Sivareddy, student of Professor S.C. Kosik and S.K. Chagi. And myself, it is my great privilege. I am introducing my Guruji. S.K. Chagi, sir, a well-known person. I think in my known R&D group, having highest postdoc experience, more than 12 years, he have vast experience on other countries as a postdoctoral fellow. Just not a postdoctoral fellow, he published so many publications, very good SCA journals, high impact factor SCA journals, and also he is the top 2 researchers in renewable energy. He is one of the researcher, and he worked as in India. He worked as an assistant professor in Mata Vaishnavi Devi University. Then after he shifted to the scientist in National Institute of Renewable Energy, Kapurthala. At present, sir is working as an associate professor in Center for Energy Studies and IIT Delhi. His research areas: heat transfer and thermodynamic studies of solar and thermal energy systems, and solar biomass-based hybrid cooling and heating system, design evolution of biomass combustion devices, and energy and exergy. Main area is energy and exergy analysis. And second, he is one of the nodal person at the time of scientist in CO2 related carbon credit operation as an army of National Institute of Renewable Energy. I think this is not sufficient for introduce, sir. He guided more than 6 PhDs and 12 MTechs. With this brief introduction, I am take over the session to the Chagi sir. Sir, now session is yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy.
Yes.
How do you do?
Fine, sir. Very well, sir.
Good, good. Nice to see you here, and
Yes.
that introduction from you is always good for me.
Yes.
To have my colleagues here, rather, I don't call them a student because they are my colleague and we are working together.
Yes.
So today's topic, as requested by your organization, is based on
Yes.
renewable energy interventions in domestic, industrial, and commercial sectors. But I'm going to focus only domestic applications, and which will be converted later on in commercial and industrial application as well. I will be dealing with it shortly, one by one. So let me give you a brief overview. This is the global overview of the cook stove. This is the outline of my slide, and this is the global overview of the cook stove. You can see from the map the percentage of people even today using the biomass cook stove, which is basically we call the traditional cook stove chula, which I will show you later on. And you can see around 40% people still rely on it globally, and around 4.3 million are dying because of the emission, particularly, and it is very harmful for the cook and her kids playing around, which I will show you later in the PPT itself. So what is the problem with traditional cook stove? Most of the things I have already, the first topic I already covered, and you can read it. So major pollution, major pollutant, or the biggest killer in the house is actually the cook stove. And lots of or huge amount of money is being spent for the medical facilities due to the problem created by the cook stove itself. So this is basically a sort of emission per ton of fuel from the typical cook stove, including the fuel. Obviously, fuel is one of the most important parameter. Without clean fuel, you cannot have clean cook stove, or without processed fuel, you cannot have a clean combustion in the domestic cook stove, which is your traditional one. If you change the traditional cook stove with the processed fuel, let me show you the sample. Ready, let me know if you can see it here. Can you see it here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
This is basically the pellet.
Yes, sir.
This is the pellet. This is from biomass, which is being burnt in the open field in the country, creating huge problem annually. So if you use the processed fuel, cook stove can be as clean as the LPG stove, which I'm going to show you shortly. So when you have woody biomass, it releases around 70 kilogram of CO per kilogram of or per ton of fuel from the biomass cook stove, which is basically traditional one. And if it is agro residue, if it is dung, if it is coal, it is keep on increasing and decreasing depending upon the way the people feed into. The biggest problem is basically the particulate matter, PM 2.5, which is a huge amount coming from the agro residue. And the coal actually no more being used nowadays because it has been replaced with other solid fuel. This is the emission or the usage of, wait a minute, from different type of fuel. 62% is from woody biomass, 15% from agro residue, dung 13%, coal 2%, LPG is still not very, you can say, user friendly in the form of its cost. It's very costly. Even though government has given around 80 million small chulha to the household families, but still they are not able to use because the refilling is a problem. They don't have money to get it refilled. And if they get it free, they use it for small applications like heating the milk, making tea when some guests coming, or for the kids like that. So they are not very frequently user of it because of the cost of the fuel or the full cost associated with the refilling. Now you can see these are the pictures from, I have taken it from the one Kapurthala. This is I have taken from Rajasthan, and this is from other part of the country, and I think this is from also from UP and Punjab. But in Punjab, the people who are local actually they don't use this cook stove other than making makke ki roti and sarson ka saag, because in Punjab it is very famous. So they put it there and keep on cooking from morning to evening or afternoon, several hours continuously, and just feeding it manually. Otherwise, they are using LPG stove. Another problem which you might be reading in the newspaper is the stubble burning. You can see how the smoke is coming out of the field when the stubble of rice straw is being burnt in the open field. Even the sun which is available is not visible at the background. Another problem is associated with the bad combustion is your jaggery plant. You can see it here. The potential of smoke or the quantum of smoke coming out of the jaggery plant when bagasse, which is the byproduct of the cane sugar, is being fed into the furnace, making jaggery. Then the problem is when the house is filled of the smoke, you can see the cook and her kids are around and all are getting affected. What is the solution? Solution is basically the clean combustion. Can we achieve the clean combustion similar to LPG stove? Yes, we can. You can see the picture here. This is IT stove, a patented one. And this is the video taken yesterday itself while cooking in the main guest house, which Dr. Reddy might be knowing, because during his final viva, the lunch was together there in the faculty guest house. So Yesterday I was cooking some food there, 3-4 type of food I have cooked over there, but I took video only of one item which I was there myself and cooking it there. You can see the combustion is very clean. The pot is as clean as it was in the beginning, and the same sort of uh, cleanliness is visible when you are cooking on the LPG stove. Now if you compare 3 different cooking stove, this is the LPG stove, this is our cooking stove, and this is the domestic cooking stove working in the field or in the rural area, in the household. So you can see the emission of particulate matter, which is basically PM 2.5 and below. So per the particulate matter is 9 milligram per unit of energy delivered by the combustion device rather than the pot absorbed by the pot. So it is slightly low for the LPG. But when it comes to per kilogram of fuel, ours is better than this. While in case of traditional cooking stove, it is more than any device. And that is why it is the biggest killer in the house. And it is well recognized, but the problem everybody knows, but the solution could not achieve so far. I don't know why. Dr. Reddy has also worked in his prairie, and they also have some cooking stove, and he has, I think, the idea, but that was not clean because it was natural one. So you can see the potential of clean combustion in building sector, in jaggery sector, in domestic sector. If you can use the clean combustion in these sectors, you can save huge amount of emissions being released, where the application is actually very, very important. You can see how it is operating. It is in our lab, and in the same lab, Dr. Reddy has spent, I think, around 4 years or 4 to 5 years of his research career. In the same lab, Dr. Reddy, we have installed the combustion testing laboratory now. So when we compare it with the different cooking stove actually approved by MNRE, so you can see we stand second, none other than the LPG stove. So we have achieved a huge in the form of its performance and emission characteristics. You can see again, and the traditional one is actually nowhere. While around 150 million, 15 crore people are still using it in their house, but it is nowhere. And that is reason being that it is free of cost, the fuel is free, but they don't understand the impact on the health and on the health of their kid. And that is why they are using it. So you can see the carbon monoxide, thermal performance, and particulate matter. So this is the setup we have established in our laboratory. This is basically the hood arrangement where the cooking stove actually we are keeping it, and all the emission is going through the duct, and the gas analyzer, the PM analyzer, and flow meter, everything is installed in the cooking stove in the testing arrangement. So if we use when we operate the cooking stove at the least CO, amount of CO being released from any combustion device is the indication of the combustion health. If it is minimum, the combustion is better. If it is highest, the combustion is the poorest or the lowest. And in order to keep it, we kept a control on the knob of the fan, speed of the cooking stove, while one person is continuously checking the emission of CO coming from the gas analyzer, which is installed, which is of Horiba make, a well-known brand globally. And when we do it, we found that the emission of our cooking stove is exactly very close to the LPG. For example, in LPG, it is coming 15 milligram per megajoule delivered. In our case, it is coming around 25. In case of LPG stove, the emission of CO, carbon monoxide, is coming 0.68 per megajoule delivered to the port, while in our case, it is coming 0.3, almost half or less than half of the LPG stove. While thermal efficiency, obviously, we are working on, we could achieve as high as around 50%, while in case of LPG, it is around 60% under the same testing conditions within our laboratory. As far as jaggery plant is concerned, you know that these are the processes involved for jaggery: harvesting, weighing, crushing, extraction of juice, settling tank where the dust and other impurities getting settled down or floated over, and then you take the juice to the pan and preheat it and then boil it continuously, and then use clarificant to clean it, and then further boiling and evaporation, and finally you get the viscous juice, which you take out in a big sort of concrete pan, move back and forth, and then jaggery is ready. Actually, this is the entire process. Taken the small photographs from a jaggery plant, which I have just shown in the video, where quantum of smoke coming out of the chimney because of poor combustion of the bagasse or the fuel, where the feeding is manual, which is also very clear from here. The boy is sitting here and feeding it manually, while the viscous juice is taken from the pan to the concrete pan, where you move it back and forth, steering, manual steering, and then it become cut down into small cakes, and then cakes are cooled down, and then it is packed in the carton to be sold in the market. The emission characteristics from the jaggery plant I have measured, and from the data I have taken, and some of the instruments are ready for us to go to the field. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we could not go. So the emission from the national emission of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide is 260 million ton per year, while carbon monoxide, it is around 73 million ton. And for PM, it is 0.9 million ton per year, actually, which is a huge amount as far as national share is concerned. And similar is the case for the domestic cooking sector. And the third is basically the thermal power plant. But they have achieved almost clean and clean combustion in the power plant. Is still, it is giving a huge emission in the form of particulate matter and carbon monoxide. Now you can see the proposed diagram. This is the existing system of the jaggery plant, where you can see the PM is more than 1 gram per megajoule delivered, carbon 50 milligram per gram per megajoule delivered. Efficiency is less than 20%. But in case of the proposed system, if we take our clean combustion device into the jaggery plant with a modified version, having continuous feeding, automatic control and ignition, then we could achieve up to this level, which is very, very, very less or almost negligible as compared to the existing one, and the potential saving based on this I have calculated and shown you in the previous slide. So this is basically the emission and performance characteristic of our cook stove as compared to the LPG stove. You can see that ours is almost half in the form of particulate matter as compared to the LPG when it comes to per kilogram of fuel combusted. Sorry. So you can see this is basically, we have taken the 6 results because as per BIS norms, we have to test the cook stove 6 times. But after the modification, we achieved 40% more efficiency and around similar 1/3 of the CO emission and around half of the particulate matter emission, which I have not updated it because it has to go first to fit our office for filing and ensuring the IPR, and then only we can show it publicly. This is the performance and emission characteristics of the LPG stove, obviously. So this there are barriers which I have discussed. There are 7 key barriers I have discussed in the slide I'm showing you now. You can see the huge number of cookie stove are being used in different part of the country, but the manufacturers are centered at only few places, and the cookie stove test centers are also, very poorly established. But out of 6 or 7 at that time, I think 4 or 5 has been closed. All 4 cookie stove centers established by MNRE are now closed, I think, including Ispreri, Udaipur, IMT Bhubaneswar, CRDT, IIT Delhi, Nire, Kapurthala. I think almost every store, every center has stopped working now because there is no proper fund, and the focus has now changed to LPG stove, giving free to the poor people, but is not going to solve the purpose because they don't have money to get it refilled. So you can see that Eastern India and other pockets such as Punjab and Haryana has plenty of agri residue. They are burning it, but there is no user of the cooking stove, or most of the people are using basically the LPG, or the processed fuel is not available to them. That's why they cannot use it. Similarly, the solution could be to actually establish the processed fuel, the biomass which is available can be densified there, and because its bulk density is very low, when it is loose, so it can be transported efficiently, effectively, and cost of transportation can also reduce because railways are available almost all area in the country, and then it can be transported to the source of consumption where the end user is there. You can use it. So it will reduce the transportation cost in distribution and import impact in the price reduction. Reduction on forest fire and crop residue burning will reduce the outdoor pollution. Forest fire is happening, the crop burning is happening because there is no one to take it away and to make use of it for energy application or for any end use. So if you utilize this residue for making pellets like this, then this could be a good fuel for the end user, which is being used by more than 150 million people in the country. Testing center actually obviously cannot sustained by intramural or extramural financial support. So they have to provide value to the society, and they have to test the cookie stove which is being disseminated in the field after every 6 months, and they can charge some money from the supplier in the form of, and they can also give service to the center, service to the supplier, service to the end user, and service to the industry in the form of modifications or at least evaluation of their performance after prolonged usage. And that test center can also get some money, and they can be self-sustained. What will be the advantage? Dissemination of good quality biomass cookie stove in government purchase, or in the form of what do you call under this fund which you basically call is social corporate responsibility. Under that, this can be, so it will give the good value to the end user. Good quality stove will be there, emission will be less, so it is actually going to take part or going to contribute for the overall development or sustainable development for the sector in the country. Better performing model have evolved in the past several years, but the standard has not revised. So these standards need to be revised. And there is one more, I will cover it later. And what will be the advantage? That we can make 2 categories. One is natural draft, another is forced draft. So because natural draft and forced draft, there is no matching in the performance. Even their performance criteria also separate actually. So what will be the advantage? The dissemination of better quality biomass cooking stove that give more value to the money could be disseminated by the government or under this social corporate responsibility funds, which is being done by some NGOs and other non-for-profit organizations. Performance standard need to be quantitative for disseminating better product, rewarding the innovation. In our system so far, although the things are now changing, there has been some minimum set criteria. You give the minimum set criteria and give the cost lower. We are working on that way. But if we have better performing cook stove with higher cost, like 5-star ratings, 4-star ratings, similar to your AC air conditioner, who is going to buy 1 star? Nobody is going to buy 1 star. But why we always select or emphasize on the minimum criteria and minimum cost? No, we should go for the best criteria and the competitive cost, so that we can give room for the innovation, supporting the innovation, rewarding the innovation, not killing the innovation. What will be the advantage? Advantage will be a better quality biomass cooking stove will be disseminated and encourage the innovation. And obviously, which I don't want to mention, I have written here because there may be some recording. So you can read it because the word doesn't look nice when we speak ourselves. But it will make the system transparent, or better transparency can also be, introduced by scientific means. Yes, lack of level playing in the field. Biomass pellets and their cooking stove and LPG in subsidies are thus discouraging. One estimate published in Science by Priya Shyamsundaran in 2019 says that last year in 2019 or 18, in Punjab alone, around 35 million ton rice straw was being burnt in the open field. 35 million, 3.5 crore ton, which is a huge amount. And if you make pellet of it, and if government provide or the player in the field provide some support, financial or technical support to the producer, and there is no tax, I think there is no tax on the biomass, then it is actually competing with the LPG. LPG we are not giving subsidy to the pellets. So one is imported fuel which we are giving subsidy on, and another is the indigenous fuel when we are not giving subsidy. So there should be equal treatment for both, at least, or at least we should support the indigenous fuel under Make in India, doubling the income of the farmer and rural employment generation. Under these 3 categories, if we provide them, then they will fulfill the criteria and they can be used by more people in clean cook stove, killing or removing the smoke from the kitchen, stopping the stubble burning and reducing the outdoor emission, and then supporting the farmers, supporting the entrepreneurs, supporting the rural employment, and supporting the indigenous energy sources. So then faster adoption will also happen, and rural employment generation, farmers income, and so many things will come together. So we have to support indigenous fuel more than the imported fuel. Yes, and biomass pellet, actually the ground level players are not up to the mark, and they need to be increased by supporting through subsidies and other incentives by the government, because they are reducing or avoiding the stubble burning which is actually striking Delhi and NCR region or every year in the form of smoke, huge smoke, particularly starting from end of October towards the beginning of December. So almost 1.5 month it happens, and that could be avoided, which is a huge amount. Yes, there are, when I saw the 52 cookie store models tested so far by MNRE, there has been huge variation in the performance. The natural draft is very low, the forced draft is very high. So there is a huge gap. Within the fourth draft, there is a variation also. So we should keep the best in the best category, the worst in the worst category. We cannot keep both in the same category of approved model. They are no more. They are approved by some means, but they are not actually suitable to be or cannot compete within. So you cannot put the horse and the donkey in the same category. Maruti 800 and Mercedes Benz you cannot keep in the same category. That likewise we cannot keep the forced draft or low performing natural draft in the same category. We have to differentiate them and we have to give them weighted score. A paper is published and I think Professor Reddy you can share with the people. I will share with you. Yeah, this I have already shown to you. This I have already shown. Yes. Apart from this, see, if we apply this scheme at national level, we can save a huge amount of woody biomass, which is being burnt by cutting the forest, which is illegal, although the law is not enforced strictly because it is a matter of survival of the people. And the dung, basically, it is a manure. The dung, 95 million ton is around, you can say 20 million ton is almost 40% is manure, and it can save around 21 million ton of your urea, which can further save your CO2 and CO and PM emission further. So you can save a huge from it. Yes. Under COP21, India has committed to reduce 33 to 35% of its CO2 emission with a for which it has asked for $2.5 trillion. So one ton of CO2 emission will cost you, if you take that way, 45,000 rupees. So in 45,000 rupees, if you disseminate one cookie store in a field, it can save around 4 ton of CO2 into the environment, because it is changing the fuel from non-renewable, which is biomass, which is woody biomass, to renewable biomass, which is agro-residue. And it is also saving or stopping or avoiding the burning of the biomass in the open field. So it has double. So it is going around 4 ton. So the cost of the cookie store, if you take 5,000 and the pallet you take 5,000, from 10,000 rupees, which is 1 ton or 1.5, 2 ton pallet is enough to meet the demand of the entire family throughout the year, and you can save around 5 ton. So from 10,000 rupees, if I take it as it is, or the highest price, which we have actually got from the lab based on our single model, even then you are 1/4 almost. So at a cost of 1/4 of what actually government has estimated under its INDC of 21 Paris in 2015, we can remove or reduce or abate the CO2 emission into the environment at 1/4 cost. So that is what the benefit could be. So based on 100% adoption, we can actually make a huge change. Thank you so much. If you have any query or question, please ask me now. Hello, Dr. Reddy. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the audience might be having some query or question. If they have, they can ask me now.
It is a kind request to the audience. If you have any queries, you can raise the question. recording all renewable related.
So, Dr. Reddy, your college, you have changed the university now?
No,
Already
no,
changed?
sir. Same, sir. From 2015 onwards, same institute, sir.
Always nice to see you here, smiling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. The audience, do you understand or you don't understand anything or you understand everything?
Not like that, sir.
See, when you understood everything, you don't ask anything. If you don't understand anything, you again don't ask anything. And if you are in
both fully understand it or zero input.
yeah, it is between 0 10, not somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the audience are from different engineering colleges and universities?
Sir, total I think 45 different engineering colleges, sir.
Okay. From AP or some other place also?
Overall India, sir. From Mata Vaishnavi Devi also is there, sir.
Okay. Who is there from SMEDU?
VV Tyagi sir का दोस्त है, sir.
Okay.
And
Arjun or someone else?
Gujarat, that Dr. A. Mahesh.
Okay, Mahesh is there. Okay.
Yes, sir. A. Mahesh.
I'm cooking food in guest house because director sir has asked me to demonstrate it in the IIT itself first.
Oh, very good, sir.
So the video was taken from there yesterday, and maybe next week it's going to
Feedback. Sir, one feedback from Jitendra Kumar.
Yeah.
Sir, excellent lecture, sir. Which one is better for environment, LPG or NG?
Yeah, obviously NG is better, but with what about biomass? If you go to renewable energy, then renewable energy is better than that. Actually, the more is the carbon element, higher is the CO2 emission. For example, natural gas is basically CH4. Carbon is 1, C. LPG is butane and propane and butane, mixture of propane and butane, 40-60%. And depending on the country actually, because it has some other applications as well. Somewhere it is pure butane, somewhere it is pure pentane. Pentane is slightly heavier butane. It is basically number of carbon atom. So more carbon atom, more CO2 emission. So from that way, NG, natural gas is better. It is methane only C1. But for butane and pentane is C4 and C5. So obviously it is harmful. If you take CO2 emission into account, then obviously 1 kilogram of LPG is actually releasing around 3.15 kilogram of CO2 equivalent to the environment when you burn 1 kg of LPG. In case of biomass, particularly the agro residue, it is zero because The biomass has taken the CO2 from the environment when it was growing as a plant, and it is released into the environment same amount when you burn it out. So it is net neutral, carbon neutral. But the fuel which you have taken below the earth, basically these crude are from below the earth. You are taking it from below the earth and you are burning on the earth. So there is a net CO2 addition into the environment. So that's why they are harmful.
Okay, sir. One more doubt, sir. Ranjan Kumar Singh. Sir, how can able to manage star rating? How to determine cost efficiency?
Star rating basically for cookie stove you can manage in 4 parameters. Most harmful is the particulate matter, give it 50% weightage. Followed by carbon monoxide, give 25. Thermal efficiency, give 20. And 5% you can give to convenience of use. And make the weightage score. I am going to share one paper with you, Dr. Reddy, and then you can share, distribute among the audience. Can you give me 1 minute time only? Tell me your email ID, please.
Sir?
Your email ID?
VUN.
VUNBELAAP.
Yes, sir.
At gmail.com.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Calculation. With all necessary attachments.
I have sent the email to you with a paper on star rating of cookie stove. You can distribute among the audience. And if they come across some query, they can write back to me. You can share my email ID with them.
Okay, sir. I will share this paper to all audience, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if any queries, please expert with us. Please clarify yourself. Utilize the opportunity. Forward just. Close చేస్తాము క్లోజ్ చేస్తాము
In the paper I shared with you, equation number 1 and 2 are giving the star rating methodology.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. నేను గ్రూప్ 1 లో పెడతా గ్రూప్ 2 లో లింక్ పెట్టండి Sir, paper related star rating we are sharing in a WhatsApp group. Please go to the paper. If you have any doubts, then can raise the questions to sir by email. Sir email ID is available in paper itself, or IIT Delhi website. Sir email ID is available. Okay. One more feedback is nice session, sir. Thank you, sir, for your presentation.
A digital image, which is
Ajay Kumar, sir, you have to ask any question, sir. If you don't have any questions, we can end the session. Dean, sponsored research and consultancy. Right. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Reddy.
You accepted our request or our institute request and
It is my
shared
pleasure
valuable
to
information, sir.
It is pleasure to be with my colleagues always.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. And it is information to the participants. Afternoon session, Dr. E. Anil Kumar, sir, Associate Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Dean, Sponsored Research and Consultancy, IIT Tirupati. He will join at sharp 2 o'clock afternoon. His topic is hydrogen-based energy systems for energy conversion and storage applications. So be on time. Thank you very much, sir. Now I am ending the session. And just now.
Hello, sir. Sir, close this one, sir.